Hey y'all, today I'm going to be beating all the remembrances from the base game while only using the Ice Spear Ash of War, which is insanely overpowered. This was also filmed a few months ago, so the DLC hasn't come out yet. So if you'd like to see me take this build into the DLC, like this video and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe. Starting with the Wretch class to have the most possibilities for later, and giving myself the Ice Spear Ash of War, since normally you would need to kill this dude. Location of Nightscav. Then off this side to avoid the Graphic Scion, and opening this door, signaling yet another adventure. Buying the crackpots and crafting kits from Kale, getting bequeathed torrent and freeing our pot friend from his hole, picking up the sleep pot cookbook, then watch as our buddy Kenneth has a little tumble, picking up the physic and heading to Kaled. Grabbing this Starlight Shard for Selvis's questline, and with the Nightscav mostly cooperating with me, he eventually jumps off. Then I get sent to the round table where I can finally buy a spear, so now I can add the Ash of War to said spear. Back to here to test out the skill, then grabbing half of the Dectus medallion, plus the sword seal, grabbing the second Starlight Shard, and heading back to this church, where these doors open for me and I head down this lift to find a bunch of claymmen just chilling. Now the spear I'm currently using is good and all, but the spear that they drop is the best for the build, having int scaling, which will dramatically increase the damage output. Amazingly, on my 5th or 6th claimant, the harpoon dropped, which has like about a 2% drop rate. So time to switch the Ash of War to its new home, and now I think it's the perfect time for our first boss. Margit. Opening up with a quick shot and the 179 damage this early is actually pretty good. Nowhere as good as later, but a good start. The main benefit of this build is that it can cause freeze proc, dealing a large chunk of damage. This also allows for about 20% more damage while frosted. This weapon is also a staggering machine. The tracking is pretty good as well. Once you hit the trigger, most of the time, I'm able to snap into the direction, and with a thrust he goes down. So now I get to head back here to pay my toll and grab the green turtle tally for that stamina regen. Onto the first remembrance, Godrick. And as always, keeping a distance from this dude always makes this fight go way smoother. Getting an early frost and constantly narrowly avoiding being hit, the range feels a bit inconsistent in my eyes. It rarely ever is a problem, but still, a second frost and second phase time. The nice thing about the twirly animation is that it also deals damage. So if I'm close enough to the enemy, it causes just that much more damage. There goes my hitless attempt, getting hit for forgetting that he now slams 3 times. Towards the end, the fire kept getting me, but he quickly goes down, getting the first remembrance and his great rune. Speaking of great rune, let's run this way and pause.
Bye, have a great time!
Jumping down here to collect the Ash of War scarab, that lowers this cost of Ash of Wars by 13 to 15%, with the downside of receiving extra damage. Next is warping to this halve and up the lift to activate it, giving me a +5 to all stats when activated. So now let's use this warp gate to go near EG. Not that we need him this time around, since weapon uses standard smithing stones, but I do want the interior that's directly beneath him. Next is the maddening section, where I need to avoid getting mad before reaching Vike. Going at him with confidence, since I've been doing well so far. However, this Ash of War is noticeable, which means that NPCs can and will dodge whenever I ready it. It did take a while before getting used to the timings that I needed, but eventually he got. Next I return to my avatar hunting adventure and take this boy on. Now I didn't do amazing damage unless Frost is procced, but knowing its moveset I'm pretty confident. Yeah, that was not my best fight. So next, grabbing the academy key, also stopping at this cave but realizing that I don't have enough stone keys, so I go and buy some. Sadly he still hasn't died yet, so into the academy. And time for Big Red. This is going to be the first challenge of the run. Since he's highly mobile, I need to time the attack well, trading a few hits and attacking at just the right time, getting a frost proc and finishing him off. Next I come up here, pause this dude for the glintstone webblade, switching it to the magic affinity, but that removes the frost buildup. So let's switch it back. Now back to here to pay the toll and getting launched to the gate, where 2 Crystallians are blocking the way. They are so tanky as always, but 3 hits and it gets staggered, missing the riposte, but now massive damage every hit. Next riposte and the first one's down, getting the riposte this time, and a second riposte ends it. Going up this hidden lift and up this ladder where the spell Terra Magica lies, increasing magic damage in a zone by 22.5%. Next is this tunnel, thinking the bell bearing was in this chest. I tried to open it, but not before getting viciously slashed to death. Going into the fog gate this time to face a single Crystallian, which went as before, rewarding me with the smithing stone bell bearing 1. Allowing me to upgrade just that tad bit more. So now time for the magic queen, who sits off the beaten path. Rennala. Her being the magic resistant being that she is, I made sure to stay close, so that the spin attack can hit her as well. Only dealing 1/4 of her health, and only having about 4 FP floss left, I did the sensible thing and quit out, to come back for her later. Heading into the abandoned cave to fight the Rotten Knights, which that weird range thing takes effect. Missing the first shot, then landing some powerful shots, getting a stagger right as the second knight spawns in after dodging some light attacks. The second one goes down, rewarding me with the golden scarab, which will increase my rune acquisition for a more powerful build. Getting to the portal outside Radahn, I head to Raya, kill a very useful NPC, which gets me her necklace back, then heading to Vare to start up his questline. Picking up the second half of the Deckless Medallion, I head up this lift to Atlas, where I trade the final blow with Gillica and collect the Ritual Sword Tally for even more damage when at full health. As per usual, I forget that I haven't returned the necklace to Raya and go to the meeting spot. Then to where she actually is, giving her my hand and joining Volcano Manor. Now I can face Magnus to progress Vara's questline, and shockingly, human type enemies are actually a massive challenge for this run. Why? Because they can register my attack. But after way too many misses, I got enough successful hits to take him out. Next would be grabbing the Amber Starlight Shard for Selvis's questline, but not before heading down here into this cave for the smithing bell bearing 2. It's time for the festival. Doing the usual cheese of running away to despawn him. The range is a slight issue here, as most of the time he's within my range, I'm also in his range. So timing my attacks become very important. Plus, not getting greedy. However, his reach is unmatched. This time hitting him from below, which helped with the frost build-up, allowing me to cause more damage. Almost accidentally spawning in this dude, a second frost proc, and he's ready to head up into the stratosphere. The range is getting to me. I think it's cause I'm so used to magic that it hasn't properly hit on how short the range actually is. Having run out of heals, I need to make sure not to get hit, especially with how close I am. However, somehow one shot landed, but the second shot was just too far. Like a fly on the wall, I was swatted away, turning into dust. A stagger and getting a frost proc just added that extra salt in his already large wound. Speaking to Alex, cause this build hasn't even gotten close to its full potential yet. My avatar hunt continues, this time with the pewter version. The nice thing is the strategy to deal with this guy is perfect for this build, and it's going way better, narrowly avoiding death, and 100k plus runes fall into my pocket, dumping all of them into 6 levels of int. Next, I just need to run past these summoned soldiers, and as always being hit by a stray arrow. Well, not really a stray arrow, but still. So into this area where a lovely ghost shall appear. I need to watch a lore video about why Loretta's here, and before Melania, now causing massive damage. Sadly, can't freeze her, but I can still stagger with her large openings when she summons her blades, which allows for an easy victory. So down into Selvis's experiment chamber to see his puppets. I still love that the fact that he writes his name in the lab. So now I get to speak to Rani, then Selvis, and EG. So now I get to go speak to Selvis again, where he begrudgingly gives me a task to poison Nefeli. But that's not for this run. So the all-knowing, who should know that doing this is opening up his own casket, takes it. Getting to buy one of his puppets. Now I just need to do some tomfoolery to be able to buy the second puppet. Oh, okay. Doing this jump kills you. Good to know. Now buying the second puppet gives him the confidence to send me on a final mission where I am to get him the Amber Starlight Shard. Wait, what's this? I just so happen to already have it in my ever-growing pockets. This rewards me with the Magic Scorpion Tally, which increases my magic damage by a whopping 12%, but to the detriment of also taking extra damage. Now I just need to speak with EG, who's going to be selling me the Carrion Filgreed Crest, which also lowers the cost of skills by 25%. Unlike the helmet, it doesn't increase the damage I take. Carrying on with the quests, it's Alex's time. Finding the magma worm hiding under this lava that I somehow can walk on. Sure, this time being more mindful of the lava on the ground, and getting a stagger, I easily keep hitting the mountains in between us, taking it so far away that it vanishes and reappears in the lava once again. The worm getting angry at the lava, spewing its own lava on top of the lava. Dodging its dancing time, I take it down. Next I jump off torrent to speak to the burning Alex and get my hands on the jar. Armed with all the buffs and upgrades, I return to Rennala, doing slightly better damage than before, which is unsurprising because she does have 80 in the magic negation to be fair. But this time, I'm armed with way more flasks, causing more than 1/3 damage. It's not long before she goes back down, almost messing up on the third cycle, barely managing to send her into phase 2. Running up beneath her doesn't do much damage, but it does stagger, sending her all the way down to half health. As long as I play the summoning phase well, she should go down swiftly. Closing the distance and shooting 2 beautiful shots, she somehow survives with not a health bar to be seen. So one last shot and a dodge to the side and she goes down. With her down, Rogier also seems to be in the same type of eternal slumber, which is perfect as he drops his clothing, which buffs Ash of Wars by 2% each piece. So the swag has been acquired. Now that most of the prep has been completed, it's time to progress in the game. So sneaky time behind DTS, almost 1k damage, not bad. With the continuous spam, he doesn't even have a chance to get ready. Staggering him plus frost proc takes him down to half health in a matter of seconds. Sadly, I haven't invested in FP, so I had to pause while he charges up, trading that final hit. Getting behind this dude, ending him allows me to collect the 2 runes in the room. Next is the avatar, and it doesn't live long, rewarding me with a Lord's rune. So just like Ghost Loretta, the gold bar can't be frosted, but 5 hits can definitely stagger, ending yet another fight with very little effort. Straight into Margit and being moved right below him, getting quick damage before he can even react. Trading but getting a frost proc, so it was worth it. He starts his sword attack, but I interrupt him, sending him straight into phase 2. Getting stabbed, but somehow not taking as much damage as normal. Another frost proc and he's down. So far, most of these fights have been very easy, getting them almost first try each time. So now up this lift, then down this lift, getting to the Zamar ruins, I make my way past these dudes till I find the cellar, rewarding me with the smithing bell bearing tree. Then it's time to go into this crater and jumping down these broken floors, running around the rooftops, and running past some silvery fiends into a difficult fight. Why? Because he's going to roll forever. Even shooting point blank, he can dodge it. I need to get him mid-move, getting frosted from the first hit, then as he rolls, and having enough FP, I just spam the attack until I land the finishing blow. Next up is lighting up this place. This one, getting stopped by Big Red, this one, and finally this one. Well, that was painful. Touching this corpse and finding the majestic spirit, doing massive damage. 2 hits is all it takes for it to fake its death, healing, but a stagger basically ending its life. Now some more rooftop parkour, doing the proper technique and landing on my toes. Opening this chest to find the Finger Slayer blade, getting the inverted statue, and heading to the study hall, where I forget to place it, so back we go. Place and jump. Now this was before learning of the new techers, so down the normal way. Hippity hop, up this lift and grabbing the curse mark of death. So now up this ladder and warping to Ainsel River. Running past these ants, big ball incoming, another lift and a lake of red. I don't make it the first time and I barely make it on this attempt. It was the third attempt, by the way. Into the coffin and Astel time, dodging his laser and getting close to his face, even with his magic resistance, a shot to his face and tanking some meteors, getting a stagger and going in for some style points. Battling Gargs this time, and their face slashes get me. Getting the first one to almost half health before the hits start coming. Getting smacked by the second dude as I kill the first dude. This fight is basically dodge as much as you can, get hit when you can't, and hit every chance you get. The major thing that gets me in this boss fight is the combo wombos that they do, especially when they're both alive. Then taking another coffin down to the deep root depths, climbing up this route and somehow getting lost, not dying and making it to Fia's champs. Shot the first attack unbuffed, causing 1/3 damage. Buffing and the hell bar got deleted. Actually landing hits on Rogier was a pain with him dodging every attack possible. Luckily I only needed 3 hits before the gang squad showed up, hitting one of the dudes by accident while I aimed for a different dude, and that same technique ended him. The next one was a tank, but he stayed in one place too much. The last guy was basically naked. I could have one-shot him if I buffed myself with different stuff. Wait, where's Fia? The doors aren't open. Oh, here she is. I guess I can't skip these first steps. So let's rest on her, get told to give this dude a dagger, resting at the grace, and now the doors are open, leading to him being dead and with Fia resting beside him. So now that means I can find her here, speaking in secret a couple of times before finding her in an eternal sleep. They're getting warped into this space to where Lich Dragon Fortissax is waiting. Headshots do massive damage, but sadly not always possible. With my range, and without even noticing, he tilts his head. And somehow I barely do damage, but one more shot ends him. Now riding over these narrow well-placed stones, then over these massive chains, another chain, finding Fire Giant, getting hit by the first attack as usual, 2 hits and I break his ankle guard, 3 more hits and a stagger happens, and potentially a Frostbrock happens, sending him to almost phase 2. All of this happened before he even got a chance to roll away. One last hit sends him into phase 2, shooting his hand before the Meteor Storm attack happens, and I need to run away. Getting rolled on and trying to aim at his big body was oddly difficult with the range. Trying to dodge a floating ball, I get fireballed to the face. Running into the fireballs to pre-explode the balls before going in for the attack this time. He somehow falls flat on the ground, so I take this as my opportunity to hit him one last time, even frosting him. Time for the floating city, and a duo that everyone loves. Trying to attack without sleeping them is a challenge for another day. Tossing a sleep pot and getting a face full of flames puts Tall Boy out. Attacking Big Boy, I actually managed to stagger him, plus a hit, and I actually took him down without sleep pots. So now Tall Boy, and he gets taken down quickly afterwards. Now I just need to wait till one of them spawns back in, and it's Big Boy, immediately going in for an attack and getting stabbed by his blade. He now summons his brother back in, but I put him to sleep. So it's still a 1v1, throwing my last sleep pot, curving it behind Big Boy. Tall Boy falls asleep. Going for an attack against Tall Boy, it somehow went through him and hit Big Boy. Very weird, but keeping the aggro during his phase change takes them out. Getting the Smithing Bell Bearing 4, which means I can now, to my surprise, fully max the weapon. So now time to pay the toll. I'm getting killed by the way aggressive doggo. So back to the lift, calling it back down and quitting out before I get killed once again. Now I could very likely kill them, but this is just easier. Arriving near this legend, speaking to him, and he starts off with a mega uppercut. But it just takes 2 hits to shatter his spirit, being rewarded with the Shard of Alexander. This now marks the point where I have officially collected everything for this build. Now it's time for this annoying running section, getting attacked straight away as I make my way past these eagles, then getting lightning and bird combined. Trying to attack a bird, but it doesn't look like I can attack downwards, getting pecked and flamed to death. Now it's time to jump down this broken pathway and lie down here. I now stand in a Colosseum with our boy Placi. Trying to attack while moving around the lightning strikes proves difficult sometimes. Running away from his flame breath and getting a stagger in. Then as he goes up in a ball, I frostbrock him, taking a massive amount of his health. I can dodge all these attacks pretty consistently now. The only issue I have now is his laser attack, which funnily I managed to jump over. What actually killed me was a series of unfortunate events. Not having enough range, then getting staggered to the ground by fire. And as I get up, the second flame hits. Then somehow, I forgot how to roll. This time though, I just need to wait for him to use his nuke skill, close the distance, and 3 more hits and he's down. With Placi dead, there's only one progression path, and that's dealing with Death Incarnate. The range is hurting me here, that my damage output is so large, it doesn't really matter. So as long as I time it well, phase 2. The usual tactic of running away, losing lock on, but still managing to dodge all of that. Then I got stuck in animation when the first slash happened. Then the downward slash ended that amazing attempt. I even got a frost proc, this time around dodging his ground slash and retaliating. Running away from his wombo combo and taking it as my chance. once again as he dies. Heading to these runes to grab the meteor staff, getting warped to this tower, running past this dude, and grabbing the Blessed Dew Tally for the passive healing. Heading to Varet to continue his questline, getting the clot, warping here, collecting the Maiden's blood, and returning to him. Losing a finger, and getting rewarded with the Pure Blood medal, which means I can teleport to Mohg's palace. But before that, I need to go to the second church to kill this invader, which yeah, he can roll a lot, but all I need is to land 2 hits, rewarding me with the Purifying Crystal tier, so that I won't lose my health during Mohg's phase transition. Going in, the range is short, but the damage when it lands is chef's kiss. With him getting his Trez in, I'm able to blast him, staggering him, plus frost procking him, taking him down to half health. So now he's going to be stuck in his countdown and phase transition. But with the extra damage I'm doing, since he's frosted, his health is melting. Sadly, he does manage to heal back some of his health, but I'm able to stagger him once again, and all that's left is his name. Backing up till he decides to walk to me, and with a final blast, I frost proc him to death. So now I push this lever, just in case, and head into the noble fight. Crafting some sleep pots, mistiming it, but still getting the throw I needed. Almost died though, sticking in him for that extra damage, then sending him to his brethren. Opening the door to the Odin's pathway, grabbing the Serpent Hunter for the joy of it. I love the fact that range increases here, dealing a pretty good amount of damage. I get hit by him imitating an ostrich. Getting an early frost, but the attack animation plus being too aggressive meant death. Playing it safer now and getting that extra damage. While it was near, plus a frost proc, my range was not as good as I thought, getting poisoned and taking every opportunity to hit him every time his head was close to me. Coming in for an attack, I managed to get a stagger off, right as the hit was about to land. Like frame by frame, this looks sick. Couldn't find the spot, so didn't manage to get the riposte. Dying from the after lava hit, changing technique, staying under him, giving that extra damage from the spin. But the tick damage really throws the attacks off. Still keep dying though. Pause. Let's go to the Castle Sol for now. Bob and weave past these ghosts and into the fight with Commander Niall. Hitting each summon once, taking them almost out. Waiting for them to both close in and smacking them both at the same time. It's now just a 1v1, dealing some good damage to him before he changes into attack mode. And one more hit frostbox him plus a stagger, doing a cool spin, and he's down, rewarding me with 1/2 of the secret medallion. So now let's go here, hit this, and get rewarded with the second half of the secret medallion. Now down here, get invaded by Anastasia, but I'm just going to keep running until she gives up. Into the Evergall, lighting this one, making all the jumps, but the wind up time killed me. So next I heal as I get hit, then manage to get my attack in, lighting this one, and finally this one. Big tree. Running around here to go into the arena for our favorite Loretta. This time she can be frosted. Opening up with attacking straight away, keeping the aggro up, she gets staggered. She gets frosted, and staggered again. But then I mess up when she comes swinging her glaive. This time around frosting her and staggering her, allowing me to keep up the pressure. Almost not taking her out, but a quick shot ends it. Trying to run past this area, I started rolling way too early and ended up getting shot straight in the face, making it pause this time, and my hunt for the avatars continue, staggering it and easily taking it out. Time to run into a lake of rot, but not before getting stringed. Now it's time to drop down into this hole, getting stringed, getting really unhappy with these boards, and picking up the Dragon Crest Great Shield Tally for the best damage negation in the game. Heading down into this fight, well, more like getting massacred, and after a few deaths, it's time to move on to Gideon. And the full build is finally going to be used. Equipping Terra Magica and the Meteor Staff, I got behind him to set up Terra Magica, shooting my first shot, and the second attack did way more, ending him by far my best Gideon kill. Now for the first Elden Lord, Godfrey. He's fast, but as long as I only attack him once and get ready to dodge, I should be fine, especially with my decent range. Staggering and frost proc, one more hit and phase 2. Losing his frostiness just meant that I can frost proc him that much faster. Never mind, Now that's how you hitless a boss. So now I can head into High Road Cave, missing my jump and sinking. Jumping again, but a bat hit me off my trajectory. Now it's time for the golem. Hit, hit, and death, rewarding me with the blue Dancer tally, hoping it increases my damage output for the final bosses. Heading back to the snake, I go under him and try attacking between ticks, getting a frost proc and a stagger pretty quickly, getting him to half health. Another frost proc and a shot to the face. I barely survived that one. Another stagger and a couple of hits to the face means phase 2. That head though, same tactic of going under him, spinning on to further frost, staggering and dealing some decent damage, then running away for the big AoE attack, getting a bunch of frost procs and staggers. His health goes down and down until the demigod fell. Going into Radahn, and he immediately deflects my attack, knocking him out of his golden slam attack and missing my roll. Going in this time and actually landing the hits, frosting him, and before he gets a chance to do his wombo combo, I stagger him, getting him almost to death. Then blast. The beast erupts this time, so I run behind him to avoid the flame attack. My damage is pretty good, getting up close and spinning right inside, causing a stagger. Failing to jump and tanking the attack, luckily it always dives towards me, allowing me to blast it out of its existence. Malenia's turn, hitting her and narrowly dodging, then proceeding to having my health emptied. I recover, frosting her, needing to time my attacks with her attacks. She can just dodge them, frosting her once again, and phase 2. Running away from her Scarlet Ionia, staying just outside the Rot's range to keep attacking. I manage to frost her before her clones come out to play. My attacks sometimes get her AI to bug out, going in for an attack, but then chooses not to instead. Another Ionia, I attack, a frost proc, and I can see victory. Rolling out of the way, and as she tries ascending, I shoot one last shot, ending her. This was more of a showcase for how busted this Ash of War is, and I really want to try this out on the DLC bosses. So if you'd like that, let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, doodles.